Greetings. My name is AJ Rawling, and today I wanted to share a few tips I have on how to become a good person. And before you ask, let me just share some of my qualifications for discussing this topic. I'm generally known amongst my family and friends to be a very morally upright person. I've been known to occasionally donate my spare change at the CVS checkout line. I've been known to criticize veterans in wheelchairs when they don't stand for the national anthem. So I do feel uniquely qualified to discuss the topic in hand today. And so the first tip I have on how to be a good person is to do some volunteer work. So take your typical summer volunteer trip to Africa, right? So it's not important to actually care about the people living there, right? Because that does nothing for your social reputation. What is important is that you end up with a lot of photos of yourself in designer jeans surrounded by malnourished African children. The key here is to exploit third world countries for Instagram likes. I should note you get bonus points for being a non-African volunteering in Africa. A picture of you surrounded by African children is really the ultimate trump card that would absolve you of holding any sort of prejudice. The second tip I have is to virtue signal on social media, just how good of a person you are. And this can be done truly in a variety of ways. So, for example, your neighbor, Darlene, let's say, posted a picture of the margarita she made, right? Hashtag Sunday afternoon. Now, what you want to do here is you want to quote her tweet and write, by the way, Flint, Michigan still doesn't have drinking water. And not only is this a guaranteed 20,000 retweets, it is also a guaranteed ticket into heaven. Stuff like this is what I would consider to be really the part of the foundational tool set for virtue signaling. But if you want to take your game to the next level, if you're interested in dedicating more time towards the proper endeavor of virtue signaling, I would strongly recommend combing through the past posts of celebrities. The further back you go, the better. And what you're looking for here are really statements, or better yet, jokes that a public figure made that was acceptable when they made it, but is no longer acceptable today. I personally have used this method to cancel Abraham Lincoln for the lack of emphasis on intersectionality in his speeches. The third and final tip I have is to accumulate wealth. Now, this may seem counterintuitive. This may come as a surprise to some of you, given that the ultra-rich are crucified in social discourse. But let me be clear, when I say accumulate wealth, I really just mean don't be poor. Because unfortunately, when you're working a real paycheck job and you're laden with financial stress for you and your family, you don't have the time to properly virtue signal on social media. And while we're on the topic of wealth, let me just remind you that being poor is an illusion. Okay? Poor really just stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So if you are trapped under this illusion of being poor, snap out of it. Now, of course, some people may have a negative reaction to me saying, don't be poor. They'll say, how can you tell me it's my fault that I'm poor when I grew up in foster homes and I had to drop out of school to work 2 jobs to support my 2 younger siblings, whereas you grew up in daddy's mansion in Manhattan? And to those people, I say, shut the fuck up and build me my goddamn yacht.